Well, good morning. Today is Wednesday, September 13th. And if my father was alive, it would be his birthday. He would be 93. My father passed away when he was 58. At the time, I was 32. And I thought, well, he lived a long life. He's fine. Well, when I turned 58, I had a fear that I was going to die. Of course, I have that fear every day of my life, but I realized that 58 was not old. But at the time, I really thought 58 was old. I really did. So I miss my dad very much. He was, my kids don't really remember him. Jimmy does. Jimmy was 11 when he passed away. Danny was just 5 or 6. And Christy was just a baby. She was like 2. But my dad used to, Jimmy has the memory of it, but the other ones don't. My dad used to pull into the driveway and honk the horn, and my kids would be out the door before I even knew it, because they knew he was bringing them for ice cream. And I used to watch my nephew, who was about the same age, and he just knew too. He just knew that when Grandpa, that's what they called him, Grandpa pulled up, you're going to get ice cream. So he was a good guy. He really was. I'm not just saying that because he was my dad, but he really was. I remember on my wedding day, he just wanted me to make sure that I was sure that I was going to get married. And we were in the back of the church, and he told me, he said, look at all these people that came out for your wedding. Look at this, all of them, and my procession has already started down the aisle. I'm supposed to be going next. And he says, just look at them all. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And I said, yes. He says, now I spent a lot of money on this wedding. And I go, yes, I know. And he said, but your happiness means more than all the money I spent. So if you don't want to go through with this, we'll just get in the car and go. I don't care. They can go over and they can have the fun. We've already paid for the meals. They can have the meals. But if this is not what you want, and I go, Dad, this is what I want. And he says, well, I just want to make sure that you know that this is what you want, because this is the rest of your life. And I go, I know, it's the rest of my life, and this is who I want to be with. He says, well, then let's get this party started. So then we walked up the aisle. I always have that memory. So my father always put our happiness above everything else. And like I said in the past, I didn't ever realize when we were growing up that we were poor, because he sure made sure that we weren't poor. My only gripe I have with my dad is the fact that, they're doing construction here. I gotta make sure I can go through. Okay, he said it's okay. Is we used to go every year to the Santa Claus parade, and we were always one of the last ones there. We never got to be in the front, and we were always the first ones to leave. I never saw Santa Claus because we had to beat the traffic. And then my other memory I have is on Sundays, while my mother would, after church, which I hated doing this, but we did it every week. And now that I look back, my mother had 6 kids under the age of 10. So my father had to do something with us to get us out of the house so she could make Sunday dinner, because Sunday dinner was a big deal. And we used to go up to City Airport in Detroit to watch the planes land and take off. Whoop-de-ding. My father just loved it. But I bet you he really didn't just love it, but he had to think of something to do that was cheap and free. Cheap or free, and we always picked the free. He would bring us to a park occasionally, but we had a park at the corner of our street. So going to a park was not a really big deal. A really big deal was when we went once a year to the zoo, and we would pack a picnic lunch, and I remember we had a big old cooler, and in the Midwest, I think, is the only place that you can get it, is Verner's Ginger Ale, and it was a picture of a gnome or an elf, one of the two. He was all dressed in green with a red beard, and we had that cooler. I have that memory of that too. So trying to think of other memories of my father. My father was a big man. He was really, really big, and he weighed well over 300 pounds. He was probably 350 or something like that. And the year he got sick and was dying, he wouldn't see his friends. He'd talk to them on the phone, but he never wanted them to come over and visit him or anything. And when my father died, he probably weighed maybe 120, 125 pounds. So that when his friends came into the funeral home, if they didn't see one of us, they would nonchalantly walk out to the placard to make sure they were in the right room, because my dad looks that much different. So, my last memory. I mean, I know they sound like sad memories, but they're, you know, like, they're good memories for me. They really are. I just remember that when we would go to the hospital, when and they had him on such a limited diet that he couldn't eat anything. And the one time I came in with a ham sandwich with some chips, and he wasn't supposed to have that. And so he told me, well, you know, one bite of the ham sandwich won't hurt. And I said, no, one bite won't hurt. So then I gave him a bite of the sandwich. And then he says, you know, and a couple chips wouldn't kill me either. So I gave him a couple chips. Well, you know, I might as well finish the sandwich. I said, yeah, you might as well finish the sandwich, Dad. So I finished the sandwich. And then finished the chips too. So, but he had a really crappy doctor. He just really had a really bad doctor. And my mom, they wouldn't feed him anything because of it. He had, my father died of cirrhosis of the liver. He was a drinker in his early life, but that was really like 20, 30 years before he died. He had stopped, but you know, it did his damage. And so anyway, they couldn't find any food that he could have other than a pat of butter. They'd give him, like, you'd open up the little cap off the plate and there'd be butter on the plate because he couldn't digest stuff or whatever. My mother went to the library because they didn't have an internet back then, and she found out that all the ingredients of Chuckles, the candy, would meet the requirements of what he needed. So every day when they would go, they would bring up his thing, you'd take the lid off of his plate and there'd be a package of Chuckles. So to this day, I have a smile on my face when I eat some Chuckles because I think of my dad. So anyway, it's kind of a depressing video. I'm really sorry, but you know, it's my dad and I wanted to honor him by letting you guys know a little bit about him. I'll try to find a picture of him. My father most of his pictures look like this. He wouldn't let you take his picture. He'd turn away. My mother took a video. He'd put a plate up in front of him. So finding a picture is going to be very hard. But I do have a picture of my mom and my dad. They took at my wedding. He had no choice. They had to take his picture. So I'll show you that. I'll put a picture of that in. So, well, anyway, we're on my way to swim class. I don't know if I told you that, but because I've been very long-winded. But I'm on my way to pick up Birdie. We didn't have swim on Monday because the lifeguard didn't show up. Go figure. So, I say sew a lot, but I don't sew. I bring all my sewing to Birdie. Birdie does all our sewing repairs. She's done it for years. She just knows that. She knows that's what's going to happen. So here we are at Birdie's, so we'll put her on when she gets out into the car. Say hello.
Hello.
You got to lean over.
Oh, hello. We're in Sandy's car. She's got a little phone holder.
You have to say hi to West Virginia Running Don. But you got to say it like Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello, West Virginia.
Running Don.
Running Don.
It's not dog. I always say running dog, but it's running Don.
There's a difference between a Don and a dog.
I know, because his name is Don.
Yeah.
But I always called him dog.
Now, why did I have to have
because he always
a shout out to him?
Because he always shouts out to you.
Ah.
A lot of people shout out to you.
Really?
I don't know why.
Because I'm fun.
Well, that's what she tells me all the time. She's trying to convince me of it. I don't know if it's true.
But we're on our way to swim class.
I mean, I explained that we didn't have one on Monday. The lifeguard didn't show up.
Yeah.
They don't see you.
Yes, again.
They want to see your beautiful face.
No, it's not beautiful. Because I didn't do nothing with my hair because I know it's going to get all sopping wet.
I told her that too. All right, I'm on the main road. I can't be paying attention to you guys too.
Bye.
Okay, it's time for breakfast. It's pretty common what I've had, but it's a little bit different. Not much, but a little bit. Started my day with a prayer. I drank 32 ounces of water. I've got 4,500 steps in. My quote is, "Food is our most fundamental material blessing. Use each meal as an opportunity to feel gratitude for all your blessings." Just think of all the people that just can't go in the refrigerator and get whatever food they want. And we're overweight trying to lose weight, and there's people in the world that are trying to eat. It's sad. 6 points for a bagel. That's a Lender's plain bagel. 2 points for 2 tablespoons of plain whipped cream cheese. On 0 for my tomatoes, my berries, my grapefruit, banana. Okay, I've had a few of you say that you wanted to see the quote that I got from, or the sermon from Pope Francis. So I thought I would share this with you again. This life will go by fast. Don't fight with people. Don't criticize your body so much. Don't complain so much. Don't lose your sleep over bills. Look for the person that makes you happy. If you make a mistake, let it go and keep seeking your happiness. Never stop being a good parent. Don't worry so much about buying luxuries and comforts for your home. And don't kill yourself trying to leave an inheritance for your family. Those benefits should be earned by each person, so don't dedicate yourself to accumulating money. Enjoy travel, enjoy your journeys, see new places. Give yourself the pleasure you deserve. Allow dogs to get closer. Don't put away the fine glassware. Utilize the new dinnerware. Don't save your favorite perfume. Use it to go out with yourself. Wear out your favorite sports shoes. Repeat your favorite clothes. So what? That's not bad. Why not now? Why not pray now instead of waiting until before you sleep? Why not call now? Why not forgive now? We wait so long for Christmas, for Friday, for reunions, for another year, for when I have money, for love to come, when everything is perfect. Look, everything perfect doesn't exist. Human beings can't accomplish this because it was simply not intended to be completed here. Here is an opportunity to learn. So take this challenge that is life and do it now. Love more, forgive more, embrace more, love more intensely, and leave the rest in God's hands. Well, I actually didn't eat them for my breakfast or lunch or whatever you want to call it, so I'm going to eat it as a snack now. I'm getting hungry. Okay, it's time for dinner. It's not very high point dinner. I have 3 ounces of tuna for 1 point. I have 2 tablespoons, not even a full 2 tablespoons of Miracle Whip for 2 points. 2 tablespoons of my spinach dip for 2 points. My wellness wrap is 1 point. And then I have vegetables. I have mushrooms, celery, tomato, onions, cucumbers for 0, and tea and water for 0. So there's my dinner. Oh, yeah, my tea and water. Okay, I hear you. I never said anything about the chips. They're new chips from Frito-Lay. They're called chicken and waffle. I had one of them. They're pretty good. But I measured out 1 ounce, and it's 5 points for the 1 ounce of chips. So I heard you. You didn't have to scream at me. Okay, I had another successful day. I'm going to have family dinner tomorrow, and I told you we decided on hamburgers and hot dogs and potato salad. So I will have to make sure I'm very diligent with my eating. I know I was way under my points today, but I really wasn't that hungry. So we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, like this video, subscribe, comment, and share, and I will see you tomorrow.